Hello and welcome to Queer Abbey, a weekly chat show that is performed, recorded, and produced by yours truly. Hi everybody, welcome to the 21st episode. Today I'm excited to have a little interview time with my good friend Evlyn. All right, welcome Lily, how are you doing?
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm doing really well. It's a beautiful day. I got some coffee. I've been outside. I taught a horn lesson. I'm chilling.
Horn lessons?
Yeah, horn
Exciting.
lessons.
So let's start there. Lily, you are my lovely friend, and we met each other in music school.
We did.
And you are a French horn player.
Yes, not so much primarily anymore, but it was definitely my main primary thing for the first, well, for all of high school and then the first 3 years of college until I realized the kind of environment, you know, that classical musicians are in.
Yeah.
Was really hard.
I want to avoid, because I am Bitter Betty. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to be like, it's bad and it's good, but music school is stressful. I say it once a week on this podcast. It stratifies it into this way that's like, I have to be good at this or else. And it's not natural. So
yes, so I definitely felt some of that. And not that it wasn't positive as well. I mean, obviously I loved it a lot, but I realized that part of me loving it was pushing myself to the point of breakdowns, right? Like, because I got addicted to getting better. You practice. I practice every day. If I don't, I mean, this is the past. I'll tell you a secret. I don't practice every day anymore. And it feels good. Yeah. Because last year, past few years, it's like, okay, I miss a day of practice. Can I swear?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm fucked if I miss a day of practice. Like my chops are gone. I feel like, and I just feel like a failure, and then I end up beating myself up, and that's the culture of becoming a classically trained musician.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, music school, there's the expectation that you complete the clerical assignments as well as that you practice for hours on end every day. Like, that's really like the ultimate expectation. Most people maybe practice for an hour every day. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't practice every day, and those people tend to fall through the cracks.
Exactly.
Right? It's a really high pressure situation. I don't know many other fields of study that are that like high stakes, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, medical school is that way.
Yeah.
For like maybe a better reason.
And our school, is primarily music ed, but especially in the music performance, you're getting a degree in music performance with the aim of getting hired in a professional symphony where the auditions are completely rigorous. I mean, my horn professor, who is principal horn of Vancouver Symphony, Tacoma Symphony. He's a ringer for the Oregon Symphony. He played assistant principal on Mahler 5 a couple years ago. Oh my God, it was amazing. Okay. 7 horns.
What is Mahler 5? Will you explain that?
It is people? Mahler's 5th symphony. Gustav Mahler, he wrote a lot of he was a very prominent composer and German, and the reason he's prominent in my life is because I'm a brass player, and he wrote wonderful, wonderful brass stuff. So his 5th symphony is huge. It has giant brass section, 7 horns. Wow. A normal horn section is 4, maybe 5, sometimes 6. He's got 7.
So Mahler has that characteristic, like a big, grandiose brass sound, right?
Tip, if you're ever going to the symphony to see a Mahler, I mean, I recommend this for any symphony ever because I'm a nerd and always want to see the brass, but sit in the balcony so you see everybody. If you sit in orchestra, all you're seeing is strings and the conductor, and I can't handle it. I need to see everybody.
So if we're picturing this from a listener's perspective, when you are seeing a classical concert, you're in a theater, like a hall that's built to acoustically accommodate this concert, which is a whole other conversation about the acoustics. But what Lily's getting at is where when you're elevated and you can see all of the players, it's really engaging and you can like get the entire experience. It seems more desirable to sit like right up front and right close to the orchestra because you get that wall of sound. But actually, sometimes it can benefit you to be like in the middle of the audience or somewhere else. There's also a different character to the sound depending on where you're sitting, unless it's a perfectly designed hall.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're sitting... Well, first of all, if you're a violinist, sit in the front row. You know, sit in orchestra and look at those violins, girl. Like, yeah.
Girl, look at those violins.
But that's the only... Yeah, exactly. Or like, you know, the upright bass. Like, you can see them from the bottom, but yeah, sitting up in the balcony, you get the full sound. And special horn thing, in really big brassy moments of any piece, we do this thing called bells up, which is, I don't know if people are picturing a French horn. It's kind of off to your side. You have to support the bell of the horn with your hand and move it around to tune. Like, the hand placement is very specific, and it's kind of always moving. And, you know, you're playing the valves with your left hand, and...
the little key fingery guys.
Yes. And for bells up, you lift the bell up above your head, and it points kind of back behind you. And you should... Technically, you really do want to turn your body to get the sound out towards the audience as much as possible, because it does... Or just straight up as much as possible, because it really, that sound does just go straight back.
So you turn like the actual like mouthpiece, the bell of the instrument, so that it... Is that right?
Those are two very different things.
See, I don't play brass instruments at all.
The mouthpiece.
What's the bell?
Okay, the bell is where the sound comes out. It's where it flares out.
Sorry, I meant like the mouth of the instrument, not like where you put your mouth, like where the opening. Yeah,
a mouthpiece is where you put your mouth. The bell is...
That makes sense.
Yeah. The bell is like, the mouth of the instrument.
Like if your French horn was eating, like that's where the mouth would be.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Okay. See, that's why we gotta explain, because not everyone knows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're so right. And I forget that all the time. I'm like, what? People don't know how to read music? That's whack. But,
wait, you're turning the bell so that the sound goes out to the audience. Yes. And that's something... How does this relate to the Mahler symphony? I'm curious.
Yeah, there's some really big moments where they do bells up. And as a horn player, or it is the best thing in the world to witness. Like, you just see... I mean, I watched my professor play this man who I took private lessons with every week for 3 years, up in the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall with the entire organ symphony, all 7 horns, bells up. And that sound is unreal, you know, all playing in unison, and they're so talented that they're playing all in tune with the same articulation. I mean, that's the craft of playing horn. Yeah. You know, people don't understand intonation is everything. Your hand and your lips and the way you're standing or sitting and the way the air is moving through your body is all related to intonation.
Right, because brass instruments are in their own category, but you're moving air through it, and all of those instruments, the woodwinds and brass instruments that you're controlling with the airflow and the combination of like change in the air pressure, it's just tiny little changes that are affecting the pitch. And even like, God, it gets so complicated, like the way you're sitting, like you said, the space, posture, all of it.
Yeah, I mean, and French horn is the hardest brass, and definitely I think wind. I think the two hardest instruments to play at all are, and I mean, there's so many instruments in this world. I guess I'm just talking about the Western kind of classical.
The ones you're familiar with.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. Violin, French horn.
I tried to play a violin 2 days ago because my friend Katie is in a music ed program. Yeah. And they were letting me play with the violin. I played viola for a little bit in middle school. Bitch, I thought, I could probably just figure it out. No. It's so hard. No. I was trying to play a scale, right? Because the tiny little string is the E string. Yep. And then, oh my God, what was that? Oh my God, A. This is the next one. And so I was trying to play an A major scale, playing like the A, B, da. Couldn't even get the 3 steps in tune because it's so hard to get your fingers placed correctly.
Yes.
If you play the guitar, which is a little bit more common, there's frets on there that tell you exactly where those half steps are in the strings. Violins don't have that.
It's true.
You're just freeballing that.
Yup. I took violin lessons for a year in high school and never got it down. I mean, the coordination of your 2 arms and like that. What I find so interesting is the reason why these 2 instruments are so difficult is because it's the tiniest muscle movements, and then it all becomes muscle memory. There are these, it's all in your body. It's all in your arms and your posture. It's all external. And the horn is 100% internal. Everything, every single muscle inside of your mouth and how it's moving, your teeth, your lips control the pitches, you know?
Right, yeah.
And
I don't think about this often at all, so it blows my mind.
The external stuff is really minimal. You know, you've got your left hand doing the valves. That's very easy. There's only 3 and a trigger, so 4. And then your hand is holding up the bell. But all the work is in your mouth and in your brain, because brass, you get many, many notes for 1 fingering. Mm-hmm. And you need to keep track of where you are. And your muscles know where those pitches are. But you still have to think. This is why I can't, I also play trumpet. I can't solo when I'm playing jazz. It's really hard to solo on brass because you lose track of where you are.
So,
yeah.
Brass.
Yes.
It is very technically involved. I want to kind of recap some of the things that we just talked about. It requires you to be really in touch with like your mouth and your airflow.
Yep.
And then that's mainly how you're controlling the pitch. And then the keys are, I never understand this. So like, you press down a key and that gives you access to like a group of notes?
Yes. So you are a Sant major. Do you know about the overtone series?
Yeah.
It's all the overtone series. Oh. All of it. So for any given combination of fingerings, you have, if we're in a key center of C, which is all open, we have 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And those are all of the pitches you get with every single connection of fingering. So all open, no buttons down, you have C. Your middle finger down, middle button, and you have access to all of those tones within the key of C. Put your middle finger down, and you have access to everything in B. Okay. Put your first finger down, everything in B flat. 1 and 2 is A.
And so it's moving
2 and 3 is A
steps?
flat. Yes. So moving, and 2 and 3 is A flat. And then with French horns, you actually have a trigger, which your thumb hits, and that this is getting so technical. Like it's but
we're gonna wind back in a second. You're right. I am thinking that as well.
Yeah.
But I want to know. Go ahead and finish, please.
It basically there's 2 sets of valves in the instrument. And I mean, Google a picture of French horn and just kind of study it, because people don't know what these beautiful, beautiful instruments look like. And there's basically 2 sets of valves. Every single button is connected to a tube. And each button, so what I'm saying is each button has 2 tubes.
Okay, so I'm visualizing with you so that you've got the little keys and there's 2 tubes that are like connected to each little opening.
And there's 3 of those, right? And so the trigger switches between the sets of valves. We have a set that is in F, which is why it's called the F horn, French horn, F horn. It is, the instrument is in F. But
most of the people who listen to this probably can't read music, so
I know.
We can just skip over.
We'll skip over that.
I'll do my best to explain a little bit.
Yeah, and then you put the trigger down, and it's in B flat. Basically, you're just, and what this does is give you a lot clearer tone for the higher notes. So you put the trigger down when you're playing your mid to high range, and then there's a couple low notes that the trigger helps you get. And really, it just expands your range. And when you put the trigger down, you're working with a smaller set of valves. So the valves in this set are smaller, and it produces a clearer tone.
So that just affects the tone and not the pitch?
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. I would love to just...
It would be a lot easier if we could demonstrate these types of things, but I'm gonna reel us off a little bit of the super technical stuff. It's interesting for me to know, though. You clearly know the most about the French horn. That's the point that I'm gathering overall.
Yeah.
You really love to understand the technical aspects of music. You are not only a French horn player, but you write music as well. You're studying composition more specifically.
Yes.
So, when did you decide that you were going to go study music? Was that something that you were sure of just out of high school or what?
So what happened was, I always had many different changing dreams. As a kid, I'm going to be an FBI agent or a chef or a ballerina. And then, that starts to narrow down. You get into high school. I was in mock trial for 4 years.
Okay.
Which is court simulator for high schoolers.
Yeah.
I regret more than anything doing that over theater. I couldn't do both, and I did mock trial, and I really thought I was going to be a lawyer. So I applied to Portland State as pre-law, and I got in for political science and pre-law. And my second choice was actually math. I'm very math-brained, and I think that goes hand in hand with music a lot. And I thought, I really like this puzzle numbers thing. But so I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go for math and or accounting. I could be an accountant. That makes, good money. Or I'm going to be a lawyer. But I was in band for all 4 years. I was in wind ensemble and jazz band, and I loved it more than anything. And my last year of high school, I was so over it. I didn't have any friends in my class. All my friends had graduated. I spent all day in the band room. I ate lunch with my band teacher every day, and now I get to call one of my dear friends, and I love that. But he is the one who said to me, why are you not going to music school?
Yeah.
And I was like,
because it's not the right answer. Because it's not what I was supposed to do.
Yeah,
I should go get a math degree.
I didn't know.
Then people would think I'm very smart.
I thought that to go to music school, you had to be remarkably talented and be so high stakes. I really thought that in order to go to music school, you already had to know everything. And he explained to me Lily, you think that I was this good when I started? No, you just get in and then they teach you everything you need to know. So I was like, really? Well, what do I even go for? And he goes, well, what do you play French horn, you play in jazz band. I was everywhere. I was playing. My senior year, I played sax. Before that, I played trumpet, and then before that, guitar. And then I tried to bring some flute into that. Didn't really work out. I was all over the place. And he's like, well, the one you're most consistent at is French horn. So why don't we try to get you into French horn? And you don't have to be any good. I knew nothing going in.
I think that's not true, actually. I think that you probably knew a thing or two.
Out of 1,000 things, I knew one or two. Yeah.
You are so black and white about certain things. Wow. It's so interesting to hear. I knew nothing when I started, and now I know one that, girl,
okay.
You're smart.
No, thank you for pointing that out. Yes, I should give myself more credit, because, thank you.
You got into music school. You do have to know literally just a little bit. Just have an inkling of interest and knowledge about music, and that it's like getting into the College of Winterhold. You have to...
What is that?
Have you ever played Skyrim?
No, I'm sorry.
Sorry, that was a silly little...
Oh, don't come for me.
To get into the College of Winterhold, you have to be able to cast a Mage Light spell on the sigil. So,
gotcha.
It just requires a little bit of
work. Understood. Yes.
Sorry, continue.
No, I mean, that's it. That's how I got into music school. And my band teacher got me in touch with... the horn professor, who is a wonderful, wonderful human, and I wouldn't still be here without him. But he was super nice and just you are learning, You can barely hold a tune. You can't play in tune, but it's okay. We'll work with you. Yeah. And then I got damn good. And then this summer I thought to myself, I'm like, this causes me nothing but stress. I was stressing over the Wind Symphony auditions coming up, trying to practice those excerpts, and it caused me nothing but misery. And I realized that is what it had done the past 3 years, and that's why I was so stressed. So now I'm focusing on my composition. I'm still teaching my horn lessons outside, and I'm still in close contact with the horn professor at Portland State, and he's helping me get my name out there. I'll play more gigs. I'll get more students. He's writing me letters of recommendation. And
are you gigging at this time?
I am not.
Okay, just checking in.
Right now I only have one student, but I'm working on expanding this.
Let's just take a second to talk about that, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So if you are teaching lessons, what do you like to teach, specifically horn? Or what?
Yes. I have taught trumpet lessons. I have taught euphonium, which is basically a small tuba. And I've tried to teach piano. I have many instruments that I am proficient in and could teach.
Yeah, Lily, that's another thing. We took a piano class together.
We did. Jazz piano.
You're all saying, I'm not good at soloing. I can't solo. I guess on the horn is what you were saying.
Yeah, brass is hard.
Girl, every time it would get around to you, I was just literally like trying not to kill myself, hitting like silly little notes and playing half steps and like, sorry, I'm being emo, but like I was having a hard time in school at that time.
Give yourself more credit.
Okay, well, sometimes I had fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you are so good. You are playing like all of this very in tune scalar stuff that makes sense, and like because you play brass instruments, there was a lot of cool little shapes that you play.
I see.
So what I mean by that for listeners is like a shape when you're playing the piano is like a repeated little kind of series of notes, like they're all the same space apart in a way. Like, let's say you do like a da-da-da, and then you go up and you go da-da-da. That's the same shape.
Yes.
It's a sequential type thing.
Exactly.
And Lily is really, really wise in making those choices. That's a big thing in jazz, when you know when to do something and when not to.
Yes.
And so they have this awesome ability to sneak it in at the ends of phrases and do these jazzy little...
Yeah. I mean, I have to tell you, like, it is so unconscious. And I'm really...
Because you worked so hard. It's in your bones.
Yeah, it really is muscle memory. It's just, I know I don't know, man. I can't explain it.
It's literally like a faith, trust, and pixie dust type thing.
Yeah,
There's several components that come together to make improvisation happen.
Yes.
I think a lot of people just don't appreciate it. It can seem so funny. Especially vocal improv. The fucking scat syllables.
Yeah.
Like, what? What are you talking about? People are always going, va 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 va, vivu.
Yup.
We.
Literally.
It's hard to take seriously sometimes because the way that it's disconnected from like the magic of making music.
Yeah,
it's a little bit more obvious when people are like playing the guitar or doing something that's like we see as cool.
Right.
And saxophone, that's another one that people always kind of get wet for.
Yeah, literally.
But it all requires the same skill set of knowing what's going on, believing in yourself, making decisions.
Yeah. Yep. And I love brass partly because, and voice, I'm realizing getting back into singing and singing with groups again, it's like, you really do need to know where you are. And you really do need to be thinking about what's coming next and be trusting your body. And you don't have that visual allowance that you do with the guitar and the saxophone.
The trust is about tenfold when it comes to singing because there's no medium or instrument that you can blame when it doesn't work.
Yep.
A piano is so calming for me because all of the notes are there. You know what note you're touching. It's literally a language for you to go, okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like your body doesn't have that feature, the graduated part. So earlier before this podcast, I was rambling about something called a relational worldview.
Yes.
It's something I'm talking about in my Indigenous Studies class, where it's basically the idea that everything is an interconnected web. And what you just said reminded me of that a lot. The needing to know where you are when you're singing.
Wow.
It's really important because you are playing a role, I guess, especially when you're singing with other people in harmony, and to know where that harmony is going, what part of the harmony you are.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this kind of relational worldview. Is that what it's called?
That's it.
That, that you're talking about. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have been raised in a hippie Colorado community where we do kind of talk about the interconnectedness of all things and how we're all community together. And not everybody has that. But I would love to. I mean, that sounds like a great class. I'd love to learn more about it.
It's really interesting. When it comes to singing, you have to be really in your body. Mm-hmm. And that's something I didn't realize up until like this year, like how not in my body I am sometimes.
Right.
And that it makes it really hard to just like be present. Like sometimes my spirit wants to just pull me right out of my body and in a self-protective kind of way. And it's just like not always helpful because sometimes we want to be here in our bodies singing with people and making music. So let's go on another little woo tangent. Earlier you mentioned the overtone series.
Yeah.
So this is something that gives me sort of a mystical connection between the science of music and how we just experience it as people.
Yes.
Do you mind explaining what the overtone series is?
Oh my goodness. How do you even explain it? Can you explain it better? I mean, you're studying like acoustics and stuff. Yeah. It's the series of frequencies that no, you do it. I can't.
So the overtone series, it refers to all of the components of a sound, kind of like the way that sounds decay into space. That sounds so out there, but I will explain further. So sounds are waveforms, right? They're their energy. It's just air molecules pushing up against each other and forming this wave of energy in a space that we're in. And so like when I'm speaking right now, my breath is affecting the air pressure in front of me and causing this wave, right? The reason that it doesn't just sound like this one pitch is because it's not a perfect sine wave. For the listeners, a sine wave, reminder, is just a perfect squiggle, basically. Yes. It's a wave that goes up and down, and even oscillation is the word for that motion. So all sounds that we find in nature, they oscillate at uneven rates, but there is this one kind of consistent pattern that we can pick apart from that uneven sine wave, and that's basically the overtone series. So like in the same fractal sort of pattern, every time you make a sound, there's these sounds that kind of play above it in sync that like give it character, and it's different strengths depending on what sound it is. So that's like why all of our voices sound so different, because like when I speak, let's say that the overtone series, actually you remembered what it is really well. So like when you play a sound, at the same time there is a sound that you can hear that's an octave above it.
Yes.
And then again another octave above that. And then what's called a fifth above that. And then another octave. And then a third. And then a flat seven.
5, then the flat 7.
Okay. So if you're staying with me on the listening track, basically like all of those pitches above the pitch that is being made the fundamental frequency, those all exist above it in some differing strength. So
but they're all there at once.
They're all there all the time at once. And that's why like electronic music sounds so electronic, because it doesn't have that uneven natural curve to it.
Right.
Instead, it's like using these square waves and stuff. But if all of that kind of completes the picture, basically there's these patterns in sound that we observe, like these ripples in sound waves that are the same all the time, and that's where music comes from. Like, we literally observed the shape of sound, and we've derived all of these other things from it, like the perfect fifth and the octave. That's the reason they're so important in music.
And it just so happens that when you blow on a conical mouthpiece into another conical tube, that the position of your lips moving kind of in and out / up and down. I wish I could demonstrate it for a camera, but
I need to get video equipment.
That's what makes brass so crazy, because that's how it works. Like, it just so happens that all of these intervals are within one frequency or one fundamental pitch. All these specific intervals and measurements of other pitches within this one fundamental, that just happens to be the exact same pattern that it happens to take to get all the available pitches through one singular tube.
That just totally connected my understanding there. Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. I mean, on any brass, trombone, tuba, trumpet, horn, whatever.
Yeah, like this overtone series, we didn't make it.
Yeah.
We don't create the instruments that create it. Like, it's just there.
Yep.
And we're able to almost like harness it in a way.
Yes.
Or like just kind of like be in tune with it, literally. Wow.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I love that when you go to music school, all of your teachers seem very like push up the glasses, like until they start talking about like the overtone series, and then inevitably your like dorky teacher gets all excited about like the mystical truths of the universe. That's something I enjoy. There's always that undercover mystical element to why people love music.
Yes.
It's there, but we love to pretend like it's very boring.
Yes, exactly.
There's many rules to it.
I know. I get so excited when we get it. I loved both years of music theory. Yeah. I loved it. And sight singing, ear training that goes along with it. Like, I loved it. It was hard at times, but it really is math. And that works for me. It's
just applied math for sure. It requires a ton of like very clear understanding of like how numbers relate to each other, or like how they do in this context at least. Yeah.
Yeah, and people who aren't musicians will see chord symbols that are like, okay, B minor 7 flat 5 sharp 11, and you write that out as BM7 hash flat 5 hashtag 11.
Hashtag 11.
Hashtag is sharp, you guys. And people will see that and be like, what the hell are those numbers? It looks like a crazy math formula, and it is. It's just telling you that, it's just telling you the notes in the chord.
I don't think we have time to really get into chord extensions right now, but I want to, because oh god, we need to do another episode. This is gonna be our like rambly excited about music episode, and that is perfectly okay.
I love that this is just where it went.
That's okay. I love it. I said before we sat down for this, I said let's talk about music and magic.
Yeah, literally.
And we've done those two things. So we talked a little bit about your experience in school and how you got there, how you're doing now. You're teaching lessons. That's something I want to cap off a little bit. If somebody wanted to obtain lessons from you for the piano, French horn, euphonium, what's the other one? Trumpet, guitar, any of those things, Lily is very qualified to teach, especially like music theory, but also performance. So how would they reach you?
Thank you. Oh my goodness. You can find me on Instagram as @lilyevlyn. That's LILYEVLYN. Or I don't know, should I put my email out there? Yeah, you can email me at lilyezw@gmail.com. That's LILY letters EZW@gmail. So, and I would be happy. I love teaching.
Would you be open to teaching remotely? Because I know not everybody that listens to this is in the US even, or like. I don't know about
so
other countries.
Yes,
but.
it is hard to teach remotely, but it does work. I have had remote lessons and I've taught remote lessons. And basically each person needs an instrument and the same kind of materials. Like you try to set up as if you're in like a real in-person lesson. Like you want a chair, a stand, your music, and we need to be able to share music back and forth and take notes. You definitely want to be taking notes in lessons. And
but if those things can be facilitated, it's technically possible.
Yes, it's technically possible. It's not preferred, but I can definitely do it.
I know, it's annoying to take lessons over this. So if you can get to Portland, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, try to get to Portland first. No, I'm kidding. I would be happy to teach virtual lessons. It works. I
will be hitting you up for some euphonium lessons.
Okay.
I just forgot to take my euphonium out from under my bed.
I know.
It's there.
Yep.
I can't wait to move out actually into like my witchy little house in the woods and have a million different instruments.
Oh my god.
That's my
wait, that's my fantasy.
I'll invite you. We can just do it together if you want. Have a commune.
That's already part of the plan, girl.
The coven.
Yeah. Literally.
Okay, next time that you catch us here, we're going to be in the middle of the woods in our coven.
Yep.
Okay.
That's, I mean, yeah, let's manifest it.
Do you
put it
have
into existence?
Any ending thoughts for our listeners? Would you like to redress them and say goodbye?
Yes. I would say thank you for listening to us nerd out about music. And if you aren't a music person, that is totally okay. Or like a person that understands how music works, that is totally okay, but it's super interesting, and I suggest that you at least have an open mind to it.
Yeah.
It's a whole other world, it's a whole other language.
Nothing can just take it away from you. It's all around us. Like, it's not like music doesn't belong to you just because you don't know the math behind
exactly.
it. It's just a fun thing to know.
Oh my gosh, the some of the best musicians in the world that can't read music.
Fierce.
You know? I mean, Santana, he doesn't know what he's doing.
We have the same birthday. Carlos Santana, July 12th.
Oh my goodness. How special.
Okay, right, now I'm just rambling. Lily, thank you so much for being a little guest on Queer Abbey.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. I'll see you next week. Mwah. Thank you for tuning in.